Well, hi there, Andrew Bell with you. As we come up on the end of November 2018, it's been a fascinating year on so many fronts, and none less than the real estate market. Much of life these days seems to be driven by fear. Fear around safety, whether it's from terrorism or simply walking the streets. Fear of conflict in the world, whether it's North Korea or the Middle East. Fear of missing out, which has been exacerbated by social media and seeing what others are doing on a daily basis. And of course, fear about our own financial security in this world. And more recently, making good decisions around our real estate holdings. The 2018 Credit Suisse Global Wealth Report has just been released, and it shows that Australians have overtaken the Swiss to be the #1 in the world when it comes to the highest median wealth. According to the report, which analyses the wealth held by 5 billion adults across the globe, from the least affluent to the wealthiest, the medium or the middle level of wealth is measured as assets minus debts. The report shows that collectively Australians have a net wealth of almost 10.4 trillion. This includes assets worth 12.8 trillion minus liabilities worth 2.4 trillion. As we read the papers and listen to the news reports, we know that most of us complaining about our wages not having been increased, or dealing daily with fuel prices or energy prices, and that we could not even possibly relate to the findings in that report. We would probably be suggesting that it's just the 2 or 3% highest wealthiest Australians. Not true. However, this report was based on the comparison to the rest of the world. On that basis, we are in the top 2 or 3% of the wealthiest people in the world. It does really show us that we so often concentrate on the glass being 20% empty rather than 80% full. In terms of the real estate market through 2015, 16 and 17, everyone was worried about missing out on rising prices in the real estate market. Now they're fearful of a bit of a correction in the real estate market, as happens in the stock market, the bullion market, currency markets and so on, a normal cycle. They forget that our economy has delivered a recession-free period for well over 25 years and is now performing better than it has for quite a number of years. They forget that our interest rates are at historic lows and unlikely to increase significantly anytime soon. They forget that our unemployment has been falling for quite a long period of time and that we're pretty much at full employment. They forget that we're not building enough dwellings to accommodate the ever-increasing population. And they forget that markets do go in cycles and that it's about understanding and riding those cycles so as to play the long game and not the short game. According to the Credit Suisse report, the average wealth per adult in Australia has increased to US $411,060, mainly courtesy of property and superannuation. The people at the biggest risk of missing out on being financially strong are those who are not in property. In fact, since 2000, the average growth rate of wealth per Australian adult was about 12% per annum. Now imagine many are struggling with this concept that we are the richest people in the world. We should also remember, not only are we on average the wealthiest people in the world, but we live in this spectacular country, Australia, devoid of so many issues that confront Europeans, Americans, Africans, and so on. Sure, we all want things to be better, and sure, we will always attend to issues that need addressing, but we should be eternally grateful for the fact that we are the lucky country, and the learnings from this report are: keep building your property portfolio, keep building your superannuation. We're certainly getting in the midst of finalising all of the participants in the upcoming and exciting Event 2019 program on in January. This is where we present a magnificent array of Gold Coast property to the biggest audience ever each year on the Gold Coast. And of course, that is the Christmas January period, when the Gold Coast bulges with visitors here to enjoy the summer break. It's when we have the highest volume of buyer inquiry. And so if you are a prospective seller, upgrading, downgrading, or just freeing up some cash, give us a call on the event hotline, which is up on screen now, and we'll give you a lot more information about the event. In this week's news report, we also are presenting all the properties that are going to our final auction of the year on Thursday, the 6th of December 2018. There's some pretty fabulous properties there. You should have a look at those because they are properties you maybe should be buying before the changes to negative gearing next year. Until I'm with you in a fortnight's time, stay safe and be kind to one another.